Electricity monster, door monster, floor monster, furnace monster, etc. Yeah. We got all of it. This is the first time where I'm trying a vertical stream, and well, let's just say it looks like this. How do I dude, what am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to, is this a joke? What do I do with the vertical stream? Dude, how do I even edit that? I literally can't. I cannot. Where's my face? Dude, this is awful. How do you automatically generate a vertical cropped version for the shorts feed? Okay, but like, how do you... how do you, with more cropping options, third-party encoder to come as future updates. Man, maybe you should have thought of that earlier, because like, what the fuck? Okay, well, whatever, sure. I guess that's, well, we have a vertical stream now, I suppose. Isn't it meant for in real life streams, brother? Sure. For this to work, I'd have to like put my camera in the middle of the screen. What am I, a cam girl? Hold on, checking. It's not a half bad spot, I ain't gonna lie. I'd have to put myself in the middle of the screen. All right, okay, we're cooking. I kind of hate being in the center here. I don't really like being here. It's a weird spot. I think Unite. Fuse box mechanics are looking good. Yeah, just little tweaks that I think will make it the interaction a lot better. But yeah. Put UE in the center of the screen. Just rotate the whole stream 90 degrees. Yeah, you got it, brother. All right. We're ready. Put that in. All right, put me back in the corner. I don't want to be in the middle. Put me back in the corner. All right, thank you. All right, so the goal of today is interactability. I don't know if that's a word. Make this so we don't have to move the camera, because that feels like ass. Can you imagine if there was like a thing you had to spin? Like that's not gonna cut it. So I think the goal is this has to magnetize to the surface. Or not magnetized, but at least like feel like it's further ahead. That way we don't have to like move in or out, and you know, it doesn't help that when you're dragging things, you move around very fast. So maybe we make some sort of parameters when you're dragging things and the type of item that you're dragging. Maybe slows down. Stop! It's pissing me off. I'm getting mad. Like, you see that? You see the type of shit I gotta do to make that work? That's a no-go, okay? That's a no-go in my town. How about not moving the camera at all when dragging? This is one of the things we talked about, yeah. What the fuck? I'm in the wrong place. Oh, whoops. God, this vertical stream looks so stupid. It looks like this. This is me. Oh, when I full screen, it goes full screen. But this is what it looks like to people. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm modifying the collision. It's almost like I have to like keep the stream in the center. That's not gonna work. I can't do that. We got a TikTok stream now? No, it's a YouTube short stream, but I gotta say, not having that customization is awful. What's the game concept? You and your friends keep a train going. You and your friends have to keep a train going. Say that one more time for HR. What do you mean? Excuse me, no watching streams while streaming. Hey, you can't tell me what to do. You guys want to know what the sound effects was called for this? For the, like, the insert and closing things? It's a Soviet box, open and close. I don't know what kind of Soviet box we're talking about, but it's a Soviet box. So basically, does that mean that these sound effects are commie sound effects? Kermit, took me 2 days. Oh god, that's making me dizzy. I'm sick to begin with. It took me 2 days to make a working clock. Is that too long? I don't know. Why are you asking me? Dude, I'm gonna freak out. Okay, yeah, this is we need to fix this. We need to improve this. So we need to put in some controls for dragging items and grabbing shit. And yeah. That's the plan. 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 Is that too long to make a clock? Brother, nothing is too long. Nothing is too short. You'd have to ask your partner about that, okay? All right? For those types of things. But in terms of Unreal, let me tell you, it doesn't matter. If you did the thing, you did the thing. You know what I mean? If you did the thing, you did the thing. And that's what matters, okay? Not how long it took. I feel like I would overdev this. Let's start writing down the things that... Where am I? Let's write down the things that we need to do first. So we need 2 separate systems. We'll start with... We'll start with one first, which is a camera lock system. I don't know where to put this. This is getting a little out of hand. We need a Trello. Camera lock system based on object type. You need some tea or something? Hey, get yourself some tea, put some honey in there, put some ginger in there. I don't know if you're feeling sick, but like, do that anyways. Put some cinnamon in there, put some cardamom. A little bit of black pepper. Shock your body a little bit, you know what I mean? While you're at it, put a ghost pepper in there. I don't know. Really wake yourself up. You know, calf. Yeah, so we need 2 separate systems. A camera lock system based on object type when handling. Or actually, let's do this. What did I just delete? And then the other thing is handling sticky mode to stick objects near a surface. Knife switch. Oh, I deleted this. The door's sliding open. Did I wake up today with a newly found passion for stand-up comedy? No, I didn't. No, I'm not a comedian. My entire career is a comedy. I want to increase the emissives for this shit. Hold on. What the... It's not in material library. Where the fuck is it then? Help! It's in here. Of course it is. Ha ha! Of course. You know, it is funny though. I did watch a stand-up comedy before this stream. Randomly got recommended to me on my YouTube, and I was like, "Oh shit, dude! Yeah, hell yeah!" It was pretty funny. Oh, dude, yeah, we're blooming now. Oh, we're blooming now. I just hate having to like move around. It just feels awful. So once we fix this, I think this will feel a lot better. Yes. Okay. Well, we know what we need to work on. Let's work on the camera lock system first. So the beauty of this is all of our system works off of your camera cursor, your camera, not your cursor. So, let's just say we have some work to do. Yeah, we got some work to do. Yeah. We need a 1 in 1,000 chance that the board is massive with hundreds of slots. Okay, don't get ahead of yourself, okay? Don't get ahead of yourself. There's a little bit too much work. By the way, we, funny. There is no we in this, okay? There's only you. Or in this case, me. I'd have to make the fucking thing. Oh, golden. Have you tried 5.7? I just opened a new toy. I have not tried 5.7. And what toy did you open? Is it Legos? I kind of want to get back into Legos, but it's so expensive. In this economy, that's not happening. All right, so as we keep adding more things to this interaction system, the code looks, well, more like this, which is not, well, it's not, let's just say it's not the prettiest thing in the world. So, we might refactor all of this, to be honest. Luckily, we don't have to move this because this is based off of, so let's just make it work first. We'll make everything work off of the camera. Let's do that real quick. And then we can swap it up. Just spent my first 1K on Diablo Immortal. Hashtag best game ever. Where did you read that? Facebook Marketplace? Facebook? Who am I to judge, dude? I think I spent like more than 1K on like game microtransactions. I think I spent 1K on Counter-Strike alone. I watched a Diablo Immortal creator that spent like $400,000. What? $400,000. These days, that'll buy you like 10 packs of eggs, at least. That's crazy. $400,000. That's not real money. That's Monopoly money. Okay, first off, we need to lock the camera. Since we're using GMC for the look movement, actually, hold on. If I cut aiming, we can't look around anymore. Yes. Okay. What could you possibly buy at a point where you've spent that much money? I don't know. I don't play Diablo Immortal. Is there any Gamba in there? Okay, K&D. Can you buy a house in Diablo Immortal? Okay. I'm thinking we need like a struct for this. We have the last interacted hit result, and that's great and all, but it's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. That ain't going to cut it. Eric, thank you for the prime. Eric, sorry. I'm sick. In the head. Okay. Well, we know we can cut off the aiming system. So I guess we'll just make a really quick branch for this. Item dragging. Not exactly how I'd like to do this, but let's do it. Yeah, thank you for the prime. Appreciate that. I only checked out Diablo 1 because I really enjoyed 3 and 4 recently, and then I went down that rabbit hole. I think I'm kind of like, I don't know, I think I'm done with ARPGs. No, that's not true. I'll probably get back into it at like a future date, but like, I think I'm done with ARPGs for now, currently. I'm ARPG'd out. I like bought PoE 2. I remember I bought PoE 2 when it released, and I was kind of like, I'm not really feeling it. So maybe I need to try it now again, but I don't know. Like, what games are coming out right now? Oh, I've been watching Mountain Blade 2, and that actually looks pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. Mountain Blade actually kind of looks like a good time. Arc Raiders. What the hell? Night Swarm, another Vampire Survivors, like, okay. Routine, I was watching, I got a stream pulled up. Guild Wars Reforged is interesting, but I don't know if I care enough about it. Yeah, I don't know, dude, I don't know. Sorry if you answered this before. Hey, don't worry about it. This is the whole stream. Don't worry about it. What's your experience with other game engines? I have like 1 week in Unity when I first started game development. Yeah, 2 weeks, 14 days, 12 days, Unity. Yeah, and then I gave up and went to Unreal and then started learning Unreal. So that's to say I don't have much experience with other game engines. I think one day I'd be curious to try out another game engine like Godot or Unity. I'm curious about it, you know. Might expand my brain a little bit. I am like Unreal slopped in my brain, so yeah. I got Unreal brain slop. Okay, item dragging. So now we can create a system for item dragging. Let's just get this started first and foremost. So the reason why I don't like what I'm doing right now is because all of this is based on like singular variables. I want to make a struct for this, and then we'll set the struct whenever we pick up or interact with an item, and then that will tell the player what they're actually doing, which would be much better than the garbage that I'm writing right now. All of this code is getting really bad because as I get more and more like into it, I'm determining the types of things we need to create, and it's getting real gnarly, let me tell you. All right. For some reason, oh, yeah. Oh, shit. After a year of Unreal, I'm trying out Godot and I'm surprisingly enjoying it. Hell yeah. Is there like anything specific that you're enjoying about it? Is there like a simpler feel to it? I think one thing I would do, because I've been using for Unreal for so long, and I love the editor tools that Unreal has to an extent. There's things that I love and hate, obviously. I wish I could find a way to create a source build of the engine that isn't 300 gigabytes and doesn't make me want to die. And then strip it down to like the parts that I like and But like the thing is, it's so like the code, I feel like there's so much, this requires this for this to work, and you know what I mean? I think I was literally looking at my plugins, and there was something I found which I thought was the stupidest thing ever. Was it Datasmith? What was the importer? What was the importer? Like that custom, oh yes, the interchange importer is required by Fab. Which I don't really give a shit about Fab in the engine, but I think when you hit yes on this, there's something else that requires mesh painting. This plugin is required by mesh painting. Would you like to disable it as well? So it's like, to disable a plugin, you then have to disable a bunch of other shit? And I'm pretty sure mesh painting is literally just like vertex painting and stuff, right? Yeah, which is like the basic shit that you would have in UE4. As time goes on, I will say, it is becoming increasingly more... I am getting a little bit more like interested in trying something else. I will say, why would you disable the plugin though? I hate that importer. It's fucking annoying. And I don't find any use in having that importer. And then additionally, a lot of this interchange stuff is for like, technically not, like, I don't need it for games. It's more so like aimed at ArcViz and whatever. I just don't care for it. And then there's so many things that are being replaced. So they're saying that the Unreal animation framework will replace anim blueprints in the future. So it's like this new thing replaces the old thing. Duct tape. Now, that being said, I think if there was one department that I actually have faith in at UE right now, it is the animation team. They're doing a really good job. But, yeah. Oh, there we go. Now it's working. So my camera locks whenever I'm grabbing it. Now, let's make a function for this, actually. Odd dependency hierarchy. What's the point of disabling it? It's not like it's in your face somewhere. It kind of is in my face. It's annoying me. I don't like looking at it. And for me to disable it, I have to put in a CVAR every time I open the engine because I'm too lazy to put it in the ini file. Boots up in seconds. The node system is easier to understand. No visual scripting, which could be a trade-off, but having to code everything makes things feel less scattered, which is good for my brain. Yeah. Crimson Engine 2026. The reality of it is, even if I wanted to switch, I don't think I would ever be able to do it. Like, that's the reality of it is I would not be able to do it because I'm not that smart. I'm pretty stupid. Now, of course, I could learn those skills, self skills, to kind of work on an engine and do a lot more, be a lot closer to the engine side of stuff. It is a skill issue, yeah, admittedly. Yeah, I think, yeah, I don't know. There's just so many things that have to be learned. Even right now, I'm still constantly learning other fundamental things that, like, slapping engine work into it to create my own engine tools and editor tools like occlusion and all these other kind of like things that I'd have to do, or things beyond that. I'm pretty sure Godot now has those built in, but like, you know, going beyond that, I'm sure there are going to be a lot of things that I'd have to code in myself. And to be honest, I'm getting close to 30. That's basically what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is I'm 2 years away from 30, man. Okay? Clock is ticking, okay? Clock is ticking. Okay, so... owning control... Owning... What is... Controller for this actor. Okay, good. Oh, it doesn't return a player controller, it returns just a controller. Well, okay, guess I'll go. What is the get local player controller? Maybe it's just get player controller. Get local viewing player controller? A train game with no engine work will be disappointing, man. We should rethink this. Don't get fucking smart with me. I gotta be careful here, because if I do a show mouse cursor, it is possible that this get player controller is going to call the server. That being said, we are doing this locally. Or we're only calling this locally, so it shouldn't show... Like, it shouldn't... I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. Okay, item dragging. So let's go back in here and replace this with the function. Finally, Crimson's fantasy stream. So here now we need to do the thing of the thing. So, here's what we're gonna do. We'll replace this call real quick. We have this distance value. Yeah. Bring back the sword game.
Pants, I did. Bring back the sword game.
Thanks for the prime. I'm not working on the sword game. I don't feel confident in the sword game. I was working on it and I was like, I don't like it. I don't like it. Like I do, but I also don't at the same time. Thank you for the prime, Wendy. Appreciate that. 35? 30's only the start? I know, it's just my own perception. Guys, can I not have my own local perception of life here? Me? Personal? Sure. Mouse cursor. Mouse world. Cursor world. Convert mouse location to world space. Yes! Yes! That's not the one. This is the one. I'm not even 25 and I feel like I'm running out of time. It's just me, chat. Okay, listen, it's just me. All right. I mean this in no disrespect to others who are older than me and whatnot, you know? Convert the mouse location to world space. So world location, we want the world direction. Would that work in this scenario? Curiosity. What the hell? Wait, so I have to add world location to this? That's crazy. Get the hell out of here. Hey, well, look, it kind of works. This one kind of works, but you can see it gets pretty fucky. What if we just use the world location? Ah! No. It kind of gets out of place. What if we just put in a number here? 150. What if we just put a number? Maybe we have to do like a line trace to see like where the distance is in accordance to, oh, but then like, I guess that by doing a flat value, we probably can't pull the lever anymore. Because it's almost like we need to feed values to the thing to be able to do these things. Kind of sucks. Because then we have to do a lot of hand holding for this to like work. Okay, the knob, the fuse, this one's not bad. The lever, however, is an issue. Because the thing is, I don't think we're gonna actually show the mouse cursor now I think about it. Can I still move the mouse cursor around but without seeing the mouse cursor? Okay, and then that way we don't have to show a cursor, we can just make it game-based. Which makes it a little janky, but it's got character. We just have to set the mouse cursor to that starting position. Which would be... Which would be the last interacted hit result. Yes! And then get the world, and then set the mouse position to the... Don't do that. Do this instead. And then break this, and then go here, and then set mouse position. Okay, okay. And then mouse cursor. Uh-oh. Position. 2D. Oh, shit. Project world location to widget position. Sure. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Sure. Let's do that real quick. Obviously, you want to make an interact view where you're putting it at a certain specific distance and location from the interact object. You have to hit escape, whatever, to back out of it. But then all mouse interaction in that mode just relate to the object, and you don't have to mess around with camera shit anymore. Maybe? I don't know. We're just fucking around with it. I don't want it to be too static either. Okay, that's definitely not... It's not going in the right spot. Let's just show mouse cursor to get an idea of where this is going. Okay, I don't know why it's going over there. Technically speaking, the mouse cursor should be right in the center of the monitor. So, this should be the correct way of going about this. Socket locations, I don't know. That doesn't feel half bad, guys. That doesn't, I gotta say. Now let's hide the mouse cursor real quick. So you kind of have to drag more than you need to, but it's got character. Now the problem is the lever. It's not intuitive. You have to do like a really awkward, and you got to like move it really awkwardly, where you would expect, oh, you just pull it up, right? But it doesn't really do that. You almost have to like do a curve, but like if you're standing right in the middle of it, then what's the then we have a problem, right? Yeah. Custom controls just for levers. We might need some custom controls. Sounds are nice though. Are they from the Boom Library? Yeah, these are from Boom Library. I don't know. That feels good. It's just the lever, man. I just do a small grab and pull for the lever and automate the way down and up. We could somehow like give like a helper system somehow. I'm trying to think of how can we come up with a system that's reusable, I guess. Now I almost want to make a valve to test like spinning the valve to see how that feels. I want to see, because we're setting the game mode to game in UI, does that fuck with the camera movement? Like, I'm pretty sure this gets locked anyways. Probably don't even need the boolean, right? Yeah. I'd be curious to like slowly interpolate our yaw input towards the camera. That could be kind of a neat thing. Does it need to feel nice? From an interaction standpoint, this is me dragging my mouse down. It like doesn't lock into place. We could just use an alpha. Also, I want to check if this is at least working to a really basic degree on multiplayer. Let's see how much, because the thing is the only information they need to send is the target location. That doesn't care if it's like mouse cursor or not. Oh yeah. Sick. Okay, so the fuse works great. The knife switch is a problem. The knife switch is going to be a problem. But it's a good thing that we're coming across this issue now while working on this stuff. So the problem is if I drag down, this is me dragging down with my mouse, because we work off of a system that is based off of the distance of our beginning trace, and it does not, it's not like doing its own thing. It kind of causes some problems. Hmm. I'm trying to think of what would be the easiest way of doing this. That's kind of reusable-ish. Like, what is a way that we could do this that's not necessarily reusable, just to get it to work? Sockets, I don't know if sockets would necessarily help us here. We have an event tick in here. We could use the event tick as a controller for maybe the distance. We could somehow control the distance of this thing. Possibly through like a variable. But then we need to be constantly reading what that variable is. We could use the mouse XY. We almost need to simulate a distance curve like this. It needs to be simulated basically like this. Right now, how it's simulating is when we begin interacting with this, when we try to drag down to here, it's going to directly do that. Right? Not great, obviously, right? Because then what that means is, as a player, we need to move backwards, and then we need to move back forwards so that the physics handle target goes here. So it's almost like we need to have a system that has its own custom, I guess, distance curve. Like, yeah, you can move backwards and then forwards, and that works, but it's really poopy way of getting it to work. Taya, thank you for the raid. How's it going? Hello, hello. Appreciate it. Do you think I should make the levels you unlock after getting legendary on all levels like insane difficulty? Just found some rocket tech that's so disgusting that I could use? Dude, I'd say throw it in. Can't you just take the up and down input value of the cursor and screen space and convert that into rotation amount? We could, yes. We could just completely ignore the, we could ignore like the physics handle stuff altogether for this specific instance. It would be a bit of a different system. Not entirely sure how we'd go about doing it. It would be nice if we just keep using the physics handle system, because then that'll work better from a networking standpoint. Yeah. Anyways, for those that are just joining in, we're trying to figure out, so we have a dragging system. Right now I have it just based on the cursor, but what it does is it uses the camera. Now we're trying to make it so the camera can lock and then things can be moved around really easily, which is great when it's just constrained to a simple XY location like this, for example. But when it comes to a lever that goes into a curve, things get really, well, things get really awkward. You almost have to like simulate a curve with your mouse, which does not feel very good. When you would think, oh, I just move the mouse from up to down, right? Not exactly the best feeling in the world. I want to see what can we do to make that feel better. Can you feed the physics handle values? I could. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking this distance could maybe be overridden. Just trying to think of how we'd maybe go about overriding it. If we could modify this distance to work like a curve, then we're good. I'm trying to think of how to go about doing this in a way that works. The handle moves in a semicircle, so you'd have to convert a linear distance to a curved line. Right. It is a bit of a... How can I do this in a really stupid, silly, hacky way that's like easy to like reuse in other systems? Either way, I think this entire system is going to need some refactoring because like the code's getting a little a little out of hand. I got to say it's getting a little out of hand with the amount of new types of interactions we need. We got, for one, we have this new interaction type, which is we can now drag objects around by locking the camera versus having to do this. That just feels like ass to have to do. Like, it works, but like, I don't think players are gonna enjoy having to do this. Having to move the camera around. I don't know if it'd be as simple as using a curve asset. Can you maybe put an empty with a collision where the handle is and just have the empty drag just up and down? Oh, I see you're saying, Treg. I think I understand what you mean. So instead of us actually dragging this up and down, or with a curve, we're instead dragging an invisible object that moves up and down, and then this follows that object based off of where it is in the drag. Is that what you mean? So in reality, we'd actually be dragging something linearly. It's just the visual would follow that based off where it is in the thing. That's pretty smart. How would we go about doing that? I like your thinking. I like your thinking. That is pretty smart. I do kind of like that thinking. Maybe make the handle a sliding one instead. I just really like the old kind of retro knife switch. We could also... Man, I'm trying to think like what would be the easiest way to code it in. I like the idea of a fake version. Trying to think of how we would replicate that, I guess. So I don't know. So if I want to feed a distance value into here, based on like the percent of where we're at, and then that modifies like the distance. And then maybe we read the mouse delta of like, okay, where do we want to go next based off of the value that we're feeding it? I would have to make like some sort of, well, I'd have to make a system that reads from the object that we're currently interacting with, if it even wants to modify that distance value at all. We could do a 0 to 1 value. If I like just like feed this, okay, hold on, let me see, how can I do this? See, my problem right now is like, I want to try to figure out a way to do this in a way where it's like, it's reusable code. I guess we could do it through like an interface call or something. Maybe for now we just do it through a float value just to get it to work, and then we can figure out how to like get it to work on all objects. Hold on. Hold on. If I were to make a fake object that's just sliding it up and down. How would I go about doing that? It's just annoying having all this hooked up through the physics handle, man. It is kind of annoying. It's like almost restrictive to the physics handle, which is kind of shit. What would you grab exactly if the lever's in the middle? A flat fake server? Yeah, right. So like the idea would be if we use a fake version, there'd be an object. The actual object we'd move is like right behind it, invisible. And we'd be moving it like this. The problem is I'd still want it so like when you grab this, we'd be grabbing that object. We could, in theory, find a way to override which object the player is handling. Maybe. Here it grabs the component no matter what. So we'd have to somehow override this with the object that we actually want to. The thing that we'd actually want to grab onto. We'd fake grab onto the thing, but then we'd grab something behind it. Now, is that the best thing that we could do? I feel like it is. If we just work off of X and Y, that might be like good for us. But then is there any potential, let's see, let's go back to our maintenance jobs. Is there anything in here that could potentially be non-XY? Toilet clogging. Yeah, we could figure out how we do the toilet clogging. That might be a bit of a weird one. Steam leak is, that's just turning a valve, which is perfect because that's just on X and Y. Gear rearrangement might be a bit of a weird one. Lever sequence is another knife switch moment. Overheated vents would just be pushing a button. Door jam would be its own custom QTE type thing. Welfare check, just pushing a button. Fire, probably picking up an item like a fire extinguisher and using it. Nuclear bomb, I don't know what that could be. That could be anything. That could be pushing a button as well. Ben, thank you for the prime. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I like the idea of dragging a fake object that's behind the scenes. Just trying to think of like... You see my last message? Animation work? Let me see. Yeah, looking good. I would say curve out the stepping a bit. And I also would maybe curve the foot a little bit upwards. There's also a little snapping, but that could be a stylistic choice, like we mentioned last stream. Yeah, nice, man. What the hell? Damn, that looks crazy cool. I gotta rewatch this stream. There's some cool shit in here, dude. Holy moly. So let's say we did want to make this XY. Could have the hand UI stick to another empty on the handle. So the hand looks like it's moving with the handle instead of the invisible object. That's what I would do. So the actual component it would attach to is the handle, which is what it's currently doing. Right? This attaches to the hit component. But we'd almost want to override this hit component when it comes to the physics handle. This is really hacky. I don't know what would be the easiest solution for this. I think it is this faking it system. I think that is the easiest solution. Is somehow like faking the object to not have to be on a curve. I do actually think that is the easiest solution to this. Is or we get the distance of ourselves to the grab point. World's a direction with world location multiplied by distance. Let me try something. Cut this real quick. Grab component visual. Okay, we're gonna get real sick nasty with this. Get world location. We're gonna get the actual location of the grab component visual. Get the distance between that and don't think that's gonna work because the world location of the mouse cursor is like not correct. No. Still running into a problem. What happens if I multiply by that 0? I think it would attach, yeah, it would get really close up to the player character. I got you, Krim. Chat GPT. All right, Chat GPT. All right. All right. What the fuck is this, man? What the fuck is this? You want me to build that list for you now? God. That's what I'm thinking, Duck. We'd grab the invisible thing. We'd grab the invisible thing. Let's see if we can get an invisible thing going. And let's see if we can maybe make that system going. Hold on. Let's rehook this up. This is fine. Okay, come on. Come on. Come on. Hook up. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Come on, Snake. There you go. Come on. And connection. Yeah, there we go. That took 23 undos. Okay. He's still watching Lyric? Dude, I have his stream in the background. Spoilers, by the way. What's that? I was just watching because dude, this shit has such a cool vibe to it. Uh-oh. That guy's having a bad hair day, which is probably why he is acting the way he is. We need to... It's probably cleaner to let objects do stuff themselves with the player than adding some override options and features in the player interaction thing itself for special features like this. The thing is, this is probably one of the only moments where, well, that's not true. The unclogging the toilet could get pretty awkward. But this is one of the moments where the knife switch is like very awkward because it's like you're pulling into and also out. But yeah, we might want to just like say fuck the physics handle and just kind of mess around with that. Only water for that too? Nah, we'd probably just fake the effect or something. We'd fake it. I don't know if I'd cause flooding if it gets clogged. I don't know if we'd do that, but... Somehow clogging the toilet would impact the performance of the train. I don't know. Listen, man, I didn't make the train. Maybe the train runs on poop. I don't know. I don't make the rules here. I don't know. The floor gets really slippery. Hey, there you go. If you run by that bathroom, you slip and fall and hit your head, potentially. We'll get real goofy in here, okay? I do think the idea of picking up some random object is the way to do it. It's just we need to somehow... Okay, so here's what needs to happen. We trace free the interactable, and then it gives us it would have to return which object to pick up. Oh man, I don't know if I want to. Oh god, we'll be getting real messy. This distance thing is going to be the end of me. It's all based off of this stupid distance. We could do a curve, but we do need to read the value. And then we need to read the mouse delta. Mouse delta is right here. Please tell me that's still a node. Okay, thank goodness it is. Ooh, imagine if it wasn't. Just really janky. Weird pink pixel. Did you guys see that? Could you just make it snap the rest of the way after you reach a certain point? I could, but I feel like that wouldn't feel very satisfying. You know what I mean? Trying to think of what... Part of me is like... My brain is foggy because this code is already kind of shit. Like the amount of things that we're trying to force into this right now. Maybe I just need to release all tension and just say fuck it. Just code it in and then we can clean it up later. Put in the intermediary stuff. Kind of does that in real life, to be honest. Those things are spring loaded. We would do an element of that. Like we already have a threshold somewhere in here for the event tick in the fuse box itself. Once it reaches 170, which is like 10 degrees close to where it would have to be, then it would call the lock. My rocket tech video. Let me see. What the hell? We're playing Celeste now. Damn. That was pretty cool. Hell yeah. That level looks sick. Immediately saw the Celeste inspiration. Have you been doing a playthrough of Celeste? Basically convert the linear into arc length. Could we do this in a way that's kind of dynamic based off of the object type? So we have location and traced start. Maybe instead of using the location here, maybe we get the location of where the drag is right now. What the hell is calibration point? What the hell is that? Let's see. Hold on. Would this make any difference? Not really, because it doesn't know that it needs to go where it needs to go. We need to somehow baby it. I don't think there's any way of doing this. I think we need to somehow babysit it. which is really annoying. Dude, how is it that? Okay. Yeah, we'd have to somehow babysit this thing. Really sucks. Feed that to the fixed handle. We'd have to, yeah, I think ongoing would have to do an interface call to tell us custom distance values based off of the mouse delta. Yep. Yep. Let's just fuck it. Just whatever, man. Just do it. Just do the thing. Just do the thing. Okay. Show me the autocomplete. Thank you. This would be a float value that returns get desired distance handle distance. Let's do mouse delta. Can we turn this into one variable? Make 2D vector. Vector 2D. What is that in C++? Vector 2D? It's probably just like F vector 2D or some shit. This will be the mouse delta. Get desired handle distance F vector 2D mouse delta. Get desired handle distance. So this would output a float. Input mouse delta. What else would we want to input? And then any object that doesn't require that would just add 0, which would mean it would not affect the distance whatsoever. That would be the idea. All right, let's try it out. So whatever the mouse delta is on the Y, while dragging the other, while dragging the thing, will then give us a value that will either minus or plus. Wait, no, we can't. Oh, we'd have to do a curve. Okay, we'd have to read the rotation of the thing, because going downwards doesn't mean it's always going to go plus or minus. It's actually going to do plus at the beginning and then minus at the end. All right, well, let's get started. Okay. Well, So, get handle distance would be in ongoing. We would feed the mouse delta to this. This would be the target. Oh, this is getting really, guys, this is getting really, really messy. Yeah. So here's what we're going to do. Completed primary action. Okay, hold on. I'm cleaning this up a little bit. All right. Okay. I feel a little better. I don't know about you guys. I feel slightly better about this. Kind of. Okay, move this all down. Move this here, put that in there. It's getting the same thing anyways. Get these damn subway lines out of here. It's getting a little hectic around here. Sandwich this, turn it into a burger. Make it double-decker. Okay, we need to get player controller in here. Surely this will never fuck up. Surely in multiplayer, we're never gonna fuck this up, right, guys? Right? Totally. Yeah. Surely. Okay, so then we get the desired handle hit distance. This is going to... plus or minus... Future Crim is going to hate your ass. I'm doing this for Future Crim. I'm writing the code in such a way that is reusable with other actors. Future Crim, if anything, should be paying me. That fucking asshole. Freeloader. Motherfucker's working off of my hard work. This desired handle distance will add to the current distance that we have applied to it, which should work, I think. The code looks like ass. That's okay. Sometimes you got to make things look like ass to get somewhere. Future Crim might not even remember this. Well, at some point. Surely I'll be old enough where this just becomes a fucking blur. That being said, hopefully I never get to that point at that age where everything becomes a blur. But brain deterioration comes for us all at some point. It comes for us all, okay? None of us are immune to this shit. All right, where am I? So we got a mouse delta being fed into this. Just okay. So first off, we need to double check that we are actually dragging the fuse or the knife switch. We can check that by checking if the knife switch has physics simulated. Is simulating physics. Okay. Then from here, there's one thing I want to do. I want to print string the mouse delta. Just to be sure that that is working first and foremost. And we're going to get the Y. And then let's get started with that. Guys, I got bad news. Our very first thing is not even working. Retrieves how far the mouse moved this frame. Why does the input mouse delta not work? Is there like a project setting that I have to set up for mouse delta in UE5? Chat. Why isn't this working? Literally the number one thing we need, and it ain't working. Let's try the X. Is it not getting any mouse delta because... Can you not just turn the knife switch, turning into an animation whose timeline you control with the invisible object, or am I thinking too simply? Like, I could do that here by doing this, but I need to read from the mouse, like how much the mouse is moving, down or up. There's something with the action input. To feed to the mouse delta? Wait. One thing is saying it doesn't work unless you have the mouse cursor shown. That's bullshit! By the way, let's just show the mouse cursor anyways, because I'm gonna need it anyways, so... Yeah. Okay, getting the mouse input is not enough. Well, no, we should be able to get just the mouse delta. Get input mouse. Like, we maybe could use the mouse look. See if mouse look. No. Can we do look? Can we just get look? IA look. Don't know if that would work. Input is disabled for the actor. The value will be 0 if the value is being altered by an input trigger or input modifier, which is release trigger, and the value may be 0. I have an idea. We set this to input game in UI. I think that's a problem. Here's the thing. We already lock the camera. It's really funny. I can still move that up and down. I'm getting a headache. Why do you not work? It works! Somehow. Hydrate? Good idea. I'm gonna get some water. Be right back. What happened to my scene? Okay, we're getting the mouse input. I had to change a bunch of stuff. It's because we had input game mode and UI, which was basically causing us to no longer read the mouse values. That being said, we don't need game mode UI. I don't think we do. I'm pretty sure we should. I should be able to just move the fuse without a problem. Cool. So now we can get the negative value. Okay. So here. All right. So here we go. We're getting the Y value. It is giving us the negative value. We need to get the relative roll rotation. Okay. We need to turn the roll into a 0 to 1 value by dividing it by 180. First, let's absolute this. 0 would be the very top of the knife switch, and 1 would be the very bottom. Sweeping the dust under the rug. Dude, don't listen. My code is literally all of that. Just put it underneath the bed. No one will see it. All of Unreal is that? Real. Unreal. Real, Unreal. Unreal, real. See the porn game is coming along nicely. The butt plugs are functional. Can't wait for the porn part. You're seeing the porn part, brother. These are 8 buttholes that you're just seeing right here. Okay. You know what I mean? So, 0 to 1 value. I typed TOS and it gave me a Dorito. It's because they know. Okay. So as the open up paint, we're opening up paint. We're doing it. Black background. He put it in. So we have our lever. Okay. This is 0. Just 0. This is the halfway point is 0.5. And then the ending, we'll draw another lever, is 1. The ending is 1. Let's say we read the mouse input delta and we're dragging down. Okay. I think we do want a curve. I think we're just going to use a curve and then read from the curve. Now he's going to tell us how he managed to game the YouTube algorithm. Is that actually what that streamer does? Don't tell me that's actually what the right. That's not. What the hell happened here? So at the middle point, we actually want to start giving. So going from here to here, if the value is negative, we want to give a smaller distance value, which is in the negatives. Again, then if we're dragging down from the middle to bottom, the value needs to be positive because we're increasing the distance of the lever. Okay? You guys understanding what I'm saying? You guys understand? Yeah. Okay. Then Okay, and then, what if you're dragging back up? Then we need to go in the inverse. Basic trigonometry. Listen, I fucking failed math class, motherfucker. Okay? I don't do math. I do systematic problem solving, okay, by using numbers. I don't know anything about trigonometry and physics and chemistry and shit, okay? We're replaying the Schedule 1 soundtrack. Okay. I can't stand the elevator music, even though Schedule 1 music does kind of sound like elevator music. Okay, so get the delta and then get the value that we're currently at. We do a 0 to 1 value. We can multiply by 2 and then minus 1. That'll give us, instead of it being a 0 to 1 value, it would be a negative 1 to 1 value. Right? Would that be negative 1 to 1? Let me try something. I'm going to try something really stupid. Watch this. Multiply by 2 minus 1. What are you doing? I just came. Excuse me? What did you say? If I multiply this by the other value, if the value starts at negative 1, then we're multiplying it with another value, we're going the positive. But if we do the thing that, yes. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, I'm cooking. Wait. I might be a genius, actually. I might be a genius. Wait, hold on. Maybe not. Maybe, hold on. This should go in the positive, and then in the negative. Wait, hold on. I think I did that the wrong way. Wait, no, multiply this by negative 1. Throw that in. Put the thing in the thing. Put the do the thing. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Wait, I... It's fucking, it's doing it. Wait. Yo, wait, hold on. Wait, it's doing it. Unless you get to 180. So once you get to 180, it like clamps it. And I don't know why. Try it from the side. Let's try it from the side. Um... When you drag to the very bottom, it kind of hits the top of the screen. And I think from there, do we get a 0 value? Is that why that's happening? Why not dot product against the lever? How would dot prodding, I'm trying to see how doing a dot product might help. Presuming X is forward towards the player. Oh, I think I see what you mean. Obviously, ideally, once we get to the very bottom, it would lock anyways. It's just if we keep dragging down, I wouldn't want the player to like for it to continue, I guess. I'm trying to think doing a dot product. Well, it's working a little better now. Not like perfect by any means, don't get me wrong. Maybe we get what's the I'm messing with random magical numbers. What is the height of this thing? 23 units. Doesn't really help us too much. Doesn't really help us too much. Like, it's working. Kind of. Like, on the side, it's a bit... It's not perfect. But we can assume that most players are probably going to do this from in front of it. It feels better. It's just once you get to 0, it like pulls itself out. I also think doing a slight interpolation towards where your mouse is might be a really good idea for the camera. Hold on. I know we're locking the camera, but I feel like it would look nice if it does a slight interpolation towards the mouse cursor. Towards the mouse cursor. You know what I mean? Anyways. It's kind of working, actually. So, what do you stand with your face too close? Well, then your face is too close. I don't know what to tell you, man. Your shit's you're too close. You literally can't do anything. Except for this. But I guess we have to assume that players will do this. Are you just adjusting the feel? Yeah, so the problem before was the fact that you would drag down and the entire system wouldn't take into account what you were dragging. It would just do it based off of like a defined distance between you and where you're clicking or where you're dragging an item. That works great when something is on an XY, XZ, whatever axis, flat plane. But when you have something that like goes towards your camera, it became basically impossible to like drag it properly. So that kind of became the problem there. Yeah, I think what we can do is when it locks into place, we just lock it. And then make the player, I guess, release their... make it so the player releases their grab. And so they have to like re-interact with it to take it out. I think that could be one way of doing it. How would we go about... Let's find a way to make the player release their grip. Also, here's another problem. I don't know if we'll be able to use the mouse delta on controller. On controller, this is not going to work. So we're definitely not coding things with controller in mind right now. That's okay for a little bit. Kind of. Yeah. Or you just read from the right stick value? Yeah, we'd have to do probably a switch here. We just have to make sure that... I just have to make sure that when we start doing controller support that I keep that in mind. So let's hide the mouse cursor again. Because the mouse cursor is kind of like a placebo. When we do that system where we make things simulate mass, I think this would be a good example for reducing the angular dampening. Yeah. Making it have more dampening, I think, would be good. I don't think adjusting this angular dampening actually fixes it. It's like a value on the physics handle. We could lower this value. Orca, thank you for the raid, man. How's it going? You know what would be a good idea? A good debugging thing would be drawing the desired target location. Because then that way we can properly debug this stuff. Draw circle. Yeah, maybe a good idea. Perhaps. I think if we just do duration 0, it should be fine because it's on tick. Yeah, thank you, Worka. Hope you had a good stream. You need to get some food though, so we'll be back in a bit. Hey, enjoy yourself, man. Get some good food in you. Why does the circle look so weird? It looks like a 2D circle. That shit's not a circle. That's a hexagon. Why does it look like that? Draw circle. Circle? Oh, draw sphere. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Oops. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, the distance definitely is like a bit weirder. Let's see here. -1, -1 value based off the rotation. Read the mouse delta and then multiply the value. Yeah, it's a weird system, that's for sure. What if we what would be the math function? Like if it's not 0, then just make it the highest value. It's not rounding because that could also round down. Round to like up, round up, if possible. What would that be? Seal? Aha. Surely this will work. You see what it's doing there? It's like freaking out. Because I think it's losing mouse input when we drag to the very bottom, which I don't think should occur in an actual game. It's just some weird UE good stuff. Yeah, we'd want to somehow... I think one fix will just be locking it in place. Once we lock it in place, it won't do this weird movement that we currently have going on. I wonder if I could, make it so it doesn't read any, doesn't ever read 0. If I make it so it never reads 0 and I just read whatever your last movement was, would that be a good idea? I don't know. It would probably create some jarring movements for sure. For sure. Honestly, I think it's probably fine. We just need a lock mechanism now. I gotta say, it is very funny just seeing how, like, hacky this is, though. Like, what even... I think it's because the distance literally just goes forward, so it doesn't look like it's an actual arc at all. It doesn't look like an arc, the arc it's supposed to be. Doing it manually kind of sucks, though, I gotta say. There, it's fine. Why was it fine there? What if we go halfway? Yeah. It's kind of annoying that the target location for this doesn't actually go 100% where I'm asking it to go. You can see the target locations over here. That's where our mouse is. But I got an idea maybe to fix this. I do have a bit of an idea. This is going to be switch delta. I don't know, 25. The interpolation speed might be too slow. Okay. Of course, there's still that issue where the mouse just goes to my taskbar for some reason, but look at that. Adding a little bit of interpolation. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Hide the sphere. Hide the sphere. Get out of here, sphere. Isn't there a way to make this not appear? I swear there's a way of like... Is it shift right click? Control right click? Nope. I think that's a setting that I have to enable. Okay. Oh, you know what we can do, actually? Where's the fuse? Enable gravity. Turn off gravity on this thing. That might make it so it doesn't drag behind anymore. And it's a lot faster. Okay. It's a bit awkward when you're dragging it. It's still not like perfect, but it's a lot better than before. Before we literally could not drag this thing. We might be able to give it a little bit more speed. Like 200 might be a good number. Dude, that's so annoying. Like our mouse cursor just ends up in like the randomest spot. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Where is my set mouse cursor location? Okay. When we let go, we're going to set the mouse position back to the center. For some reason, just Windows mouse just... I don't know why in Unreal just hates everything. You should make a little mini map for these fuck ass blueprints. Hey, come on, man. What? A mini map. A world map. This is where my fucking spaghetti is. My bolognese. A little, you know how like websites have like a site map? We'll make like a blueprint map. The blueprint site map. Instead of converting the mouse screen position to world space and moving things towards that position. Yeah, I'm doing things a little stupid. I'm reading where this thing currently is, and then I'm reading the mouse delta to determine which kind of direction we'd actually want to go into. Which, you know, as you can tell, is doing some weird stuff. Like if you're in the in-between values, it does get a little weird. But I'm basically simulating the curve and adding that to our distance. I probably, you know, something I could have done is instead of just feeding the distance value, I probably could have just overwritten the target location altogether. Yeah, I probably could have done that. To be fair, I probably could have just done that. Anyway, dude, listen, man, it works. Sugma. Balls. -1 to 0 to 1. Yeah, I think maybe a curve probably would have been like a better solution, but it works. Whatever, man. What if we change this to 100? Now we just need a locking system. When it locks to either 0 or 180, it just like locks itself in place. Yeah, I think 100 is not enough. Let's do like 180. I guess whenever it reaches up top or bottom, I guess we just forcefully release the player's grip and kind of complete their... What if you set your mouse DPI really high and flick it though? I don't think it would matter because now that we put the interpolation, it wouldn't do that, and also it's clamping it. So you can only go from 1 to -1 on the mouse delta. So there's two kind of safeguards to stop any sort of weird fuckery from occurring due to high DPI or sensitivity. I believe this should still work on multiplayer because the only thing the other clients care about is the target location, and the target location is just being calculated locally. So the last thing we need to do is lock the location. Bean's looking focused on the job. Yep. This is his only job. If he fucks this up, everyone dies in the ship. Yeah, if I let go of the mouse and I no longer move, it like sets the distance to like a really weird value. I almost kind of want to make it so this distance isn't multiplied by the mouse delta necessarily. Just slightly influencing it. Like the direction of where it needs to go. What if two beans start dragging the thing? I'm going to make a system where only one player can mess with one system at a time, because currently, if anybody else starts fucking with this, we're in Pain Town. I gotta say, when you drag it forward or up, it does get a little weird. It's like... And that's probably our multiplier here. But that was just to try to fix an issue. Which doesn't seem too prominent anymore now that I kind of changed it a bit. Made it so the zero value doesn't affect it. I hope the game will handle crashing or losing connection if the bean holds the thing so it doesn't soft lock. Oh, don't worry. I'll figure out something. I'll figure out. Yeah. We'll get through all of those things at some point. We'll do explicit testing of that shit. Something I'd like to do is if a player character disconnects, instead of their entire character disappearing, I want to make it so their character just starts sleeping on the ground. So then that way we can keep track of their inventory and everything, and then we'll just make them repossess their pawn when they reconnect. That would ideally be the plan. Okay, doing the zero check, perfect solution. Makes it feel a lot smoother. This code is starting to look like ass. I gotta admit. It's starting, I'm getting sick. I think I'm gonna puke. Bro's gonna be in the test like, all right, grab the lever, pull it halfway, and then Alt F4. Yep. 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 You're damn right. So then another question I have, because we've pulled out that system, can we still drag things while seeing the mouse cursor? Okay, so hold on. Can we still make it so you can look around while doing things? Keep the branch there. We might need it. But if false 1, if true 0.3. Can we still influence the camera? Oh. Well, I really made that confusing for myself. Okay, there you go. Oh, yeah. Still a little bit of camera movement. Very slight. Allows you to still look around. Okay, if you move your camera too far down, it actually increases the distance. Wait. Hold on. Is it? Is it still taking into account? Oh yeah, it is. Balls. It's still kind of taking into account the camera location. But not perfect. But I like the change. I like having the camera move slightly with it. Am I having fun engineering the slop? Oh yeah, we're making some slop, let me tell you. This code, slop. Slop. This shit is slop. This is straight slop. I'm telling you right now. Okay, I like it, but it's too much on the lever. You look happier doing this than updating Superfire at least? Really? Real? Maybe we do it on a per object basis. The thing you're dragging has a different amount of camera movement. Because that looks really good. Although, when you drag the camera further down, I guess it somehow causes the distance to be a little fucky. I don't know how that how bro looked updating Suit for Hire. Okay. Oh my god. Oh jeez. Is that guy playing Tarkov? Okay, we need to make a struct that defines like what kind of controls the object needs, because now everything runs off of this system, including moving items around, which not too I gotta say, this actually feels pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. It feels pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it actually feels good, but I wouldn't want it on everything. And somehow it's staying constrained in the space. I think it's because it's running off of the mouse cursor. It oddly feels really good. It oddly feels really good. Mask it for analog interaction will never get over the first time I played Amnesia Dark Descent. There's something really nice feeling about like the way this works. I could definitely see a middle ground between this and our old system for like dragging items around, to be honest. Because this just works off of the follow camera. Something with like a little bit of mouse location in there is actually kind of... It feels pretty good, actually. It feels pretty good. Okay, so we need to feed an item dragging system for this thing. Because I can't, like, adjust these values. Like, sure, I could make it so this thing... I don't know. I think we're going to need a struct for this. Because this needs to be slower, but this, I'd rather it be faster. How did this break? How did I break it? Suddenly now it's broken. What's the mechanic in mind for the breaker? So the breaker you would have to use this, there'd be certain times where randomly electricity will go out in the main engine bay, or potentially in other parts of the train as well. We could reuse the fuse. I don't mind it at all. And then you don't see any of like the things like the status of the train and blah blah blah. So you'd have to go to the breaker, put the fuse into the thing, flip the knife switch here, and then that would restore power. And then you would just... I'd probably just make this close automatically, because I think what I would do is the inside of this would only start replicating when we need the minigame, I guess, which makes sense. So this door, I think, would probably just automatically close once you completed the thing. Feeding the oven is just a case of... God, it feels pretty good. You're fueling the train, basically. You're essentially fueling the train. I ain't gonna lie. I kind of like that versus the... maybe we'd make that an option. If you... for item dragging, if it would be... You know, if it would be mouse cursor / screen related... with the camera lag that we have versus it being in the center of your cursor. Because this kind of feels nice. I ain't gonna lie. To an extent. I think there's a balance. A sweet number that we could do here. Like 0.5. Oh, you know what I'm realizing? So when we increase the camera speed, we're also adjusting where the mouse location is in the world. And because we do that, it does cause things to get a lot faster. I wish we could somehow lag the mouse behind. You know what I mean? Could we somehow lag the mouse behind? Because the problem is, When we are using mouse input, we're using or the mouse location, we're using I think we're using direct mouse. I don't think we can set the mouse sensitivity of the mouse. Can we? Because I'm pretty sure it literally just uses your Microsoft Windows, like from doing Suit for Hire. I'm pretty sure it literally just uses whatever your mouse speed is in on your Windows or your desktop or whatever. I don't think I can modify that. Genuine chance for somebody to go wrong on the train that includes the fuse box. So we haven't gotten to the part where we determine how and when things break, but it would be like, we would be coding it in based off of like, where are you at in the game? Are you farther ahead? Is there nothing going on currently? You know, we would probably code it in such a way based off of performance and whatnot as well. And we'd probably give these like cooldowns. So it's like, this can't happen for like another minute, for example, right? As to not like annoy the player and whatnot. This is cool. I kind of like dragging items around this way. Obviously I wouldn't do it like all the time, but it feels good. I gotta say, it feels really good. I think I'd have to find a middle ground between this and the system for dragging items, because can you imagine? Like, I think this would be great for heavy items. Maybe. But I think items in general would probably get really annoying, unless it's like a really heavy object. I could potentially see that being like a factor. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, we need another interface call that returns a struct to then return a bunch of information that the object that we're currently grabbing onto would give us. And then that would be things like the drag context and all that kind of stuff. And I think that is what we're going to do next. Did you figure out the lever? It's a lot better now. Definitely. Would I say it's the perfect thing in the world? No, it has some faults to it. Definitely not by any means perfect. I think this would have to be like 0.15, I think. Yeah, that feels a lot better on 0.15. This would feel better with 0.2, I think, or 0.25. But yeah. It feels pretty good. I think we'd have to... Our interact distance is pretty far. I think we'd want to decrease that for this, but... Yeah, not bad. It needs a snap. This needs to be, like, verified before this can actually go through. So we're getting there. Big improvement, though. And it feels good to interact with it. Feels pretty good to interact with it. Yeah. And it's replicated because it's all just like The local side just says, hey server, this is where I'm moving this thing. Can you move it on other people's clients? That's all it's really saying. So the way we move it, it doesn't matter. That's all done locally, the way we move shit around. So it could be using desktop locations, mouse locations, whatever. Other clients don't need to necessarily know where our mouse location is, which is great. Hey server, can you order me some pizza? Call the nearby Domino's and order a triple meat stack pizza with stuffing, with crust stuffing, crusted stuffing. I haven't ordered pizza in a while. It's been a while. I'm making a pizza when Skate Story comes out. When is that? Isn't that soon? Why are you getting closer to the camera? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Might need a return node there. What engine is this? Unreal. Unreal Engine. Da, 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 da. What game is this? Train slop? Train friendslop game? Friendslop game on a train? Okay, that fixed it. I think it was trying to get the old value. Cool. You can do the launch URL function from within Unreal to aim at an arbitrary pizza website. We could order a pizza. Oh, God. Is the fishing minigame in yet? There is no fishing minigame, but we could have one of the cabins being some fucking swimming pool, and you have to fish for fish. Guys, the performance of the train is lacking. We need to go to the fishing cabin, and currently we need to fish a tuna. One of the passengers really needs a pizza. We need to order delivery right now. That could be one of the mini games. That would be fucking stupid. That would be funny though. That'd be really funny. We do have one character or passenger slash monster who is what's his name again? Jimmy. Jimmy would be in a random cabin, and the instant you see Jimmy, he then would tell the player, "Hey, I want food." And then you'd have to feed him periodically, or else he then gets out of his seat and then starts roaming the train to eat one of the players, who subsequently also kind of looks like a sausage. So it kind of is quite fitting. So honestly, I like the idea of ordering pizza in game. Okay, but what's the pizza shop called? That's the next question. What's the pizza shop called? That feels really good. That feels good. We actually got there. In the end, we got there, chat. Open up the C++. Pukes. Pukes on screen. Component hit info. Where are we using that? Component hit info. Doesn't this tell me where it's being used? Maybe not. Where's the search bar? Pidslop Eatery, Pizza Slop. Calculate object on surface. Oh, this is for items. Right. Oh, for the hits. Okay. So this other one is going to be called F. I guess Splitgate 2 is rebranding. What are they rebranding to? That game is don't get me wrong, I like the idea, but like it's not. They're trying. I feel like they're trying so hard to force like a square peg into like a circle hole. You know what I mean? Derail pizza. Derail pizza. Derail pizzeria. We're gonna call this handle object context. Handle object context. Handle object info. No, I like the word context. Handled object context, handle object context, handle actor context, handle object context. Yeah. Rolling dough. That's the one. I like that one. Ferrari, thank you for the raid. How's it going? Hello, hello. I do kind of like rolling dough. That's bang on. That's banging. All right, so we need all of these values to be inside of the context. Interpolation speed, linear dampening, linear stiffness, all this stuff, because then we'd want to be able to modify this stuff. So let me put this on the other screen. Okay. We'll start with that. So float without a capital. Damn it, dude. I don't like these controls. I gotta say, when I do like Control Shift up, I would expect us to like copy this. I'm not at a level yet where I can like do this with one hand. I mean, not with one hand, but whatever. Do this without my mouse. What I meant to say, without my mouse. The schedule one I hear. Yeah, we've been vibing out to the soundtrack. It's a good soundtrack. It really do be. So they've now renamed it to Splitgate Arena Reloaded. I think the problem with Splitgate, here's my problem. I think here's the problem with Splitgate. Okay. They're trying so hard to get the popularity of Call of Duty to make like a lot of money, but they're making an arena shooter. Yeah. I think there's a problem there, which is unfortunately, as much as I love arena shooters, I just don't think, you know, I don't think they're here right now. I don't think they're like there, unfortunately. I feel like that's the problem. They're trying so hard. I just like adding the BR was just like a nail in the coffin of like, yeah, you're trying so hard to like break through and get like, you know, a lot of money and whatnot, which, you know, like you should aim for that. But it's like, I don't think you're making the right type of game for that, unfortunately. I like the first Splitgate, but yeah, I was just kind of like, yeah, I could understand why this wouldn't work. It's just, you got to have like a twitchy finger and shit like that. Like, the game kind of gives you a headache if you're like really trying to make use of the portals. They really try to dumb down the portals in the second game. There weren't that many portal spots, so it was like kind of uninteresting, and they were trying to be too casual. It's like, bro, just make Halo, man. Stop with the portal thing. The portal is not going to work. I feel like arena shooters kind of evolved into hero shooters like Overwatch Live Rivals. To an extent, yes. And players just kind of, the casual audience just leans into that. I think it's just time to move on. Didn't they say like they've been working on Splitgate since they were like at college or something? Since they were in college? It's like, brother, I think it's almost time to move on to maybe the next thing. Maybe. I'm just being an ass. I'm being a dick. But I think the Battle Royale and then like paying a shit ton of streamers and all that, I was like, I don't think paying all these streamers is going to solve the problem. I don't think it's going to solve any problems. You know what's not going to solve this shitty looking code though? I'm going to puke. The microtransactions, yeah, that was also like, I don't know. I don't know what their goal was. Skin bundle was like $50. No, I'm pretty sure skin bundle originally was like more expensive than that. Wasn't it like 100 something? And then they like halved the price or whatever because people were like, what the fuck? Wasn't it like super fucking expensive? I swear there was an issue with it and then they like halved the price in like a really quick patch. I remember that being part of the thing. Anyways, here's our paint. Wow, we did it. Although we didn't do 0.5 as a middle point. We did 0. Which, now that I think about it, is actually not the best thing ever, but whatever. Oh well. Oh well. Oh, it was $80 and then they halved it. Yeah. People complaining they halved it. The hell is this? Oh, ready or not? All right. We need to make another U property. This is going to be a Boolean. B, use camera lock mode. False by default. It's not a good look to overprice and then half the price. Might as well just keep it there. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with I think it's got some cool elements, but I just it's a game company that doesn't know what it wants. I feel like part of it, I feel like a lot of the system or a lot of things that they're saying is that they want to just make a really fun game that people enjoy, and then they're like trying to like, they have a niche, but they're trying so hard to bring in casual audience or more casual players, maybe trying to lean into like Halo players. I don't know. I just feel like they kind of try to dumb it down with the second one. I don't know. It feels so weird. It just doesn't make any sense. They're self-published too. Greed for the love of game. I can respect it. I don't know. It just feels weird. What's the ratio of blueprint / raw C++ code in your game? It's currently, because it's like a lot of prototype stuff, it's like 99% blueprint. It felt sanitized. It really did, with like medical gear. Shit smelled weird. It's like walking into hospital. I actually just want to vibe code games in UE5. Yeah, I don't think you can vibe code in Blueprint because there's not many like AI stuff for Blueprint. There are people that are marketing that they're making systems like that, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Was better C++ or Blueprint? Both. Actually, I changed my answer. Yes. My answer is yes. Someone pull up the video. The 13-second clip. That is like, use either. But what about performance profile? Use the profiler. This really does feel like music that you that you hear on the phone when you're waiting for like the representative at your bank to like pick up. We need to get out of here. Get me out of here. Hold on. Let's go somewhere else. I've been on hold for an hour. I have a clip of Epic stating to use both. Just use both. Don't like one? Just you don't use it then. At some point you will have to start fucking around with a little bit of C++. I would recommend at the very least, especially with UE5, learn how to make structs and enums in C++. At the very least. At the very least. I would say that's the bare minimum. The bare minimum. But I use a lot of Blueprint. More than I should. I do want to learn more C++, but that would heavily slow down my rate of prototyping, which is, at the current moment, already slow enough. It's already slow enough. Yeah. Okay, where am I? Where are we on this? We've got a f-handle object context, which will give us the linear dampening amount, linear stiffness, angular dampening, angular stiffness, interp speed, use camera lock mode, which is default to false. Okay. What other things do we need to send? I think that's about it currently. We could always add more data to it. So now in the interface, we now need to get what? Oh. I already forgot what it was called. F handle context, object context. Okay, get handle object context. We will return the handle object context, and then we feed in the hit result, which will also give us which component we actually want to read from. Yes! Very good. Okay. Rerun the code. Rerun the engine. Wrists are the dumbest thing in Blender. You trying to model a wrist? I don't model hands. I just use the Unreal Mannequin hands and then call it a day. I did some stupid shit. Our character's hands and feet are the UE mannequin, but like really fucked up, like decimated and all this stuff. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. I'm pretty sure I literally use this right here. If this is equal to the fuse... Oh, right, I just realized... yeah, there's one more thing I needed in here. I just remembered. Camera interp speed, which is by default going to be 0.2. UV4 rig is so weird in that area, or the mannequin itself is so clunky that it doesn't look off when I'm animating it with model. Yeah, first person hands is a bit of like a nuisance to get it right. It really does suck. Okay, so we want a camera lock on both. The difference would be the speed for... Okay, the camera lock interp speed would be different. Okay, get handle object context. All right. Okay, this is where we get real gnarly with all of this. Okay, item dragging state. Okay. By the way, yeah, I guess we could have actually put is interactable and whatnot in here, but oh well. Get handle context, object context, target is the hit actor, the hit result is going to be our last interacted hit result. I'm actually going to, I think, set this as a variable. This is going to be our current handled object. Current handled object. Great. Then, current handle object. Are we using the camera lock mode? If we are, go ahead and set dragging to true. And then, in here, we're going to do a select. If true, use this. If false, use that. Okay, this is about to get real nasty. This is about to get really gross. Okay. Put this here. Let's try to like organize this a little bit. Well, could be worse. Could be worse. So now we can read if it should drag the camera or not. So now that will work. That should work. And then dragging the items should work. Yeah, the old system. Cool. Yes. Okay. So let's get the camera lag system in then. Which is in here. Item dragging, if true. Then let's read from the current handled object. Break, and then we want to use camera lock interrupt speed, and then that's going to feed into there. Okay, we're finally getting somewhere with all this fucking shit. Okay, so moving this should be faster than that. I'm getting lost in the sauce. There's a lot of things going on here right now, I'm not gonna lie. We could probably make that a little bit faster. When we are using the fuse, let's try 0.3. I don't know if that was too fast though. The problem is, now on top of moving the cursor, we're also moving... Also, something I have to consider is whatever your camera speed is in-game, like mouse sensitivity, might affect all of this as well. So that is something to consider. And we are playing with a really fast value right now. Yeah. Yeah. New fan, can I please get a shout out? I can't shout. It's gonna be too loud. It's kind of, it's like 6 p.m. here. Some people are like making dinner, you know, there's like people that live here, like, I don't want to be too loud, you know what I mean? I can give you a whisper. That's as far as I can go. Also, one problem is you can like drag the fuse outside of the box. We might have to figure out something to do to, you know, stop that from happening. I should be able to do the same system to the furnace door. I really liked how the furnace door was being handled. So get desired handle, get context object. We can split this. Let's do camera lock mode, but then let's change the interrupt speed to like 0.6. Yeah. I like that. I do kind of like that. Cool. Let's try making it a little bit slower. 0.4. Yeah, that's sweet. Cool. Will I do physics handle interaction control in the near future, perhaps in conjunction with the cabinets or drawers from one of my old uploads? I don't know. I'm not really like a big tutorial person anymore. But that being said, all of the VODs are here on YouTube. There's a lot of stuff that we kind of just did on stream. So you could probably learn a couple things from what we did on stream. But yeah, I'm not really big on like educational stuff anymore because it's just not. I don't know if it's for me, to be honest. I'm just kind of over it now. Not for me. Yeah, and we did all of this stuff today. You know, changing all of this stuff. This was all in today's stream, so you can see like everything that we did on stream today. So we still need a locking system for this, and we still need to get it working. The few you provided were some of the best I encountered when I was beginning to learn. I only did a couple like interaction tutorials. I don't know if I did any did I do any physics handle stuff? I don't even remember anymore at this point. If I made any physics handle tutorials. We should toy around with the interp speed now. Yeah, basic interaction interface stuff. Yeah, that I remember doing for sure. Yeah, the thing is, making tutorials for me, I don't know, I just prefer making games. I like teaching people things, but when I teach people things, I like to be thorough about it, like really put in enough detail and whatnot, and like be able to actually provide something that's tangible, like, you know, actually worthwhile people's time. There's so many tutorials out there that are just, here's how do this thing to just implement something, and you don't actually like learn anything to take from that. It ends up just being information that's kind of just like, it's just kind of like that. It's kind of like whatever. Gorka Games and his ilk are reprehensible. I think the only reason why I would meme on Gorka Games, I've never really watched any of their tutorials. It's just like the way that they're like kind of just turning into like a tech guru. They're kind of like, they're going into that realm of stuff, which is kind of funny. So the reason I fell off Unreal. All the tutorials I watched never gave me the why the code works. Yeah, that's why I like to teach, at least to the best of my ability, why certain things work and why you would use them in certain ways. What each little node was doing. Like literally we talked about, I think in that tutorial, we talked about line traces and how it functioned. And then also showing how you would go about debugging it so that you knew what you were actually doing. So that was like, I think a really good thing to teach is like debugging. It's like a big thing that I would teach. Literally just use a print string to see if something's actually working. Use a print string to see if your input is going through. You know, little shit like that. That for some beginners wouldn't really know that that's something you should do. But yeah, I'm kind of done with just doing tutorials, to be honest. I'm all for like trying to help out if you have like a small question. I'm down to help out on stream. Like that's not a problem with me. It's just I'm done with making videos. I think part of the thing that kind of burnt me is like there is a subset of people that obviously there's going to be negativity everywhere, but there's a subset of people that are like, this tutorial didn't help me kind of moment. And then they say things in correspondence to that. Yeah, editing is kind of like really time consuming as well. It's just, it's not worth the time for me, to be honest. And I don't want to sell courses because I don't give a shit, to be honest. I just don't care. Just want to make games. Back to devlogs. I do want to get back to devlogs. I thought that was fun. Just, I really want the next devlog to be like, we finished this game, here's the new game we're working on, and show some really cool stuff, cool moments. I think once we do like some gameplay testing for this one, I think I'd feel good about doing a devlog, because then I'll have some really cool footage for that. Freeform teaching stream instead of something scripting, etc. Maybe we could maybe do a couple like teaching streams, maybe focused on that. I don't know. I want to focus on making games, you know, like that's the biggest one for me. I think that's the biggest thing for me. I think the problem I have, and I've talked about this before, once you start doing tutorials, you become the tutorial guy. You become a tutorial guy, and everybody's going to start asking for tutorials. You'll start working on a game, and then I post a video or a trailer on my channel, and then the first thing someone asks is, dude, how do I do that? It's kind of like, okay. Obviously, I can ignore those comments, but yeah. Is the revenue consistent for releases like a year after? I don't know yet, because Suit for Hire technically hasn't been 1 year since 1.0, but it's still selling. So yeah, it's still selling. It's still doing well. I have an update still. Like I have an update that I need to make that, or it's in beta and people can still try it out. But obviously most people aren't going to know that the beta exists. There's just a couple things I need to double check and make sure that it's running well. And then I need to write the patch notes and then we can get that out there. But tutorial slop tubers would disappear until they start producing with a focus on best practice and scalability. So here is the problem about tutorial space on YouTube and in general. The best videos that perform well are beginner tutorials. Hands down. Best performing videos are ones that are beginner tutorials and they suck people into getting something done very quickly and easily for themselves without any sort of like critical thinking. And there's no incentive to actually teaching someone to be able to be self-sufficient to get their own things done. So we're always just going to have these fucking tutorial slop. Tutorial slop. And when you have really rare educators that are so fucking good, like I'm talking, when you look at that one YouTuber, UE4 Game Framework. Let me see if I can find Alex Forsyth, 263K views. Dude, this should have way more fucking views. This guy's videos are so fucking good, and there's only like 4 or 5 of them. The game framework video, Blueprints versus C++, multiplayer in Unreal. This guy's videos are so good, but when you compare the view count of this versus UE5 beginner tutorial, let's see. What are the view counts for this? 5.6 million. Why is my video in here? What? 1.8 million. Unreal in 100 seconds. Best way to learn Unreal Engine in 2025. Let's see. What? It's a fucking course. They're selling a course. Oh, God. Yeah, don't do tutorials. It's way more interesting seeing you work on an actual game, I think. I'm okay with like doing tutorials once in a while because I like helping people. And it's fun. And also, doing tutorials also kind of helps you strengthen your own fundamentals and whatnot. But I wouldn't do it publicly anymore, I think. I wouldn't do it publicly anymore. About Unreal Sensei's course years ago too, and then Knight literally says Unreal Sensei is pretty decent for beginners. So 90% of UE tutorials use tick and very few actually teach you how to use timers. Or they do the opposite. They teach you how to use a timer, but then they set the timer time to 0.001. And it's like, this is more optimized than tick. It's like, by overloading your timer manager? Like putting the problem from one place to another, and it's not actually going to be 0.001. Yeah, surely that's a really good fix. Good job, asshole. And now you just taught a bunch of new people this fucking thing, and then they're gonna come to me and be like, well, actually, that I saw this tutorial and he did it and it was just fine. That's why I don't want to do tutorials either. It's because there's so much I don't know, it's just not I don't know, I just don't get me wrong, I don't want to be able to like teach people things and then they say, oh, but this is, you know, I don't want them to get into the situation of like, oh, but so this is the correct info. No, it's going to be like, I'm okay with people arguing with a solution, with a better solution, but the problem is there's probably always going to be a better solution to a 1-hour tutorial. The reality is a 1-hour tutorial isn't going to be enough to teach you how to make the best solution either, to be fair. To be fair to those videos where they put everything on event tick, right? It would take a while to teach someone how to do something properly. But here's the problem. A lot of people don't want to learn the thing properly. They just want to fucking put it in the thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. Where am I? Where the fuck am I? Wait, hold on. What am I doing? Wait, hold on. I wanted to hook up interpolation speed. Do I need to do that on server? I think I do need to run that on server. I think that it does need to be on the server. I think it's had the inverse effect on me, and now I'm extremely hesitant to bind anything to tick and cast. You just have to ask yourself the question, does it need to run literally every single frame? If it's interpolation, it probably needs to run on tick. If it's something that is a one-off action or one-off input or whatever, just do the one-time event. If it's an object, if you're casting and you're casting to an object that you already know is in memory, and you know it's going to be in memory all the time, like the player pawn, for example, you could probably use cast. Honestly, cast isn't that bad. Just don't cast on tick. Try to save a reference to the object or whatever. Obviously, that's dumbing it down, but you know, there's various things to it to kind of keep track of. I don't think there's necessarily any solid rules to anything when it comes to programming necessarily, but there are obviously better ways of doing things, and it's just a case of like profiling it and seeing if it's like making a huge impact or if it's like fucking up your memory. So something to look out for is when you're looking at an object, obviously keep in mind when you look at the size map, you can kind of determine how much memory it might take up, right? And then just, you know, once in a while, look at your objects, look at your maps, look at your stuff, and then see, like, is there something that looks off in here? You know what I mean? Like 800 megabytes on a chair or something, you know what I mean? Things like that are things to take into account, so. People with scare tactics about triangles. Dude, I swear, when I was first starting game development, the instant I added, like, 16 more triangles, people are like, yeah, that's unoptimized. That's not going to run. It's like, brother, what are you doing? What are you talking about? It's gonna be fine. Don't worry. I think it's changed over time. I think people have kind of, you know, technology has grown a little bit, but yeah. It reminds me of the 8K bed story I heard at Riot. I think the reality of it is one object isn't going to kill everything. It's all about the context of that object. How many times will that object be used? Where is it at in a scene? How far is the camera from it? All of these things are really important when it comes to a triangle count of an object. You know what I mean? Okay. I think we have to run this on the server. We're going to see if this works. We're going to have to test this on client as well. So we're going to run 3 players. Let's test this out. So interpolation speed here is 3. No, wait, hold on. Shit. Okay, let's test this on the furnace door. The furnace door is going to be a much lower interpolation speed just to slow it down. Do I use nanite lumen? Do I think they're shit? I just don't really care for them. I'm sure they have their place, and I think they do great in ArcViz and film. I'm sure they'll be applicable to games as well, but for me, for the types of games I do, I don't really use those things. Okay, so this is one. It was a multi-million polygon per asset bed with 8K textures on every asset that tanked performance by like 40 to 60% whenever it loaded. That does sound awful.
Shit my pants, I did. Mmm. Huh? Mm.
That feels much lighter on the client. See, the problem is we're doing a target to the physics handle on the server. So is it technically getting the physics handle of the server's interpolation speed? Yorick, by the way, thank you for the prime. Thank you. Appreciate it. Little did he know those 16 triangles bottlenecked his game. It killed everything. Can I do this locally? I don't know. I think maybe we can. But I'm pretty sure doing those physics handle calls, I don't actually... I'm going to be honest. This runs on the server, but it's getting the physics handle... Is this getting the physics handle on the server? I don't know how any of this code is working, if it even is. We're gonna have to do a multiplayer test soon. It's just not working, man. Oh. I just removed Suit for Hire from my wish list. I'm gonna guess what he says next. I purchased it. Or if not, then shit. Damn, that hurts. If that's not the result of it, then ouch. Oh, youch. Indeed, I got it. Some might say I'm a little bit like Einstein. No, not Einstein. Who's the detective guy again? Shit. What was his name? Someone help me out. Sherlock. Yes. Yes. I got it in the end. It took me a bit, but I got it in the end. Okay, so the physics handle is still working, but on server. How about on client side? Oh yeah, it's working. So the only thing that needs to be replicated is just the transform. That's it. The actual values of the thing don't matter. You have to manually remove something from the wish list? I don't think it's manual. I'm pretty sure it automatically removes it from the wish list. I'm just being a prick. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it removes it automatically. Shit. Okay. Ideally... I got a better idea. So this needs to hashtag include the thing again. Yeah, thank you, man. How about Darkwood in the original Mafia 2 Weekend Splurge? Dude, Darkwood? I gotta play that game. I remember seeing let me double check that this is the game. Yeah, Darkwood. I remember seeing a playthrough of this game so long ago, and it was so fucking creepy. I feel like I need to give it a try myself, but it's oh man, I still remember watching that playthrough. They announced the sequel. I did see a Darkwood 2 over here. I want to say I saw the trailer for this. I think at like the Game Awards or something. Really, really well done game. They handed it off to another studio. They call it a collab, but I don't know. Yeah, I do see that. You're right. Different studio. Did you hear about the game that got announced 2 days ago and now it's canceled? What the hell happened to it? What the hell happened to it? I think I saw that on Reddit. How the hell did that? What happened there? RWS Studios. After revealing Postal, Bullet Paradise. Oh, it was Postal. Title Running with Scissors, planning a publisher but not developing, would overwhelm with negative responses from our concerned Postal community. The strong feedback from them. The elements of the game are very likely AI generated and thus has caused extreme damage to our brand and our company reputation. We've killed the project. Oh my god. Oh my god. Damn, people are crazy about Postal, I guess. Wait, was like the trailer like really AI generated? What am I working on nowadays? It's train slop game. Super sloppy, super slop. All of the art. They canceled it because they think they used AI generation. I think it's I don't know. Are corporations really this stupid? I don't know. I don't know. It's definitely AI generated. Where is it? Can someone get me the video? Postal Bullet Paradise. Is this one? Is this the same thing? Oh, here it is. It's developed by who? Goon Swarm Games? We can't hear? Fine, here, man. Jeez, don't shoot me. Studio head went crazy in response to, from what I hear. Full denial, told folks to leave their community, blah, blah. Of this studio, Goon Swarm? Goon Swarm Games. They got, they got Sin Slayers, Meat and Greed. They got Sin Slayers, Reign of the Eighth. They got SCP, Control Error. They got, dude, it's all like... How the fuck did the studio get... How did the studio randomly get, like, the Postal IP? What?
According to the latest sociological survey, citizens across the city report no reasons for regret. Happiness index increased by 2.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. I'm calling about your complaint regarding the recent drop in your social rating. We've reviewed your complaint and found that there was an algorithmic error. Your rating was lowered by mistake.
I don't really, to be fair, I never really looked at Postal in, like, a high regard, to be honest, from a visual standpoint, so maybe... I'm not, like, looking at the details of it. How do people find out it was AI art? Because to be fair, I'm not like looking out for it, but what was some of the giveaways? I know the voice sounds like the TikTok AI voice.
Well, I guess I'll find out soon enough.
I don't know. The enemies definitely look AI generated, probably. I don't know. I don't really look at any pixel art generated. I don't know what they look like. I don't know what they spit out. That's probably why they made it pixel art, is to make it so much easier to just make characters. I don't know, man. I was never really into Postal. There's text in the news bits that's just wrong. I don't know, just...
Well, I guess I'll find out soon enough.
Don't tell me they like AI generated the fucking TV, right?
About. Well, I guess I'll find out soon enough.
I don't know. I don't know about AI generated, it just doesn't look very good. It just doesn't really like look like anything. It doesn't really look like anything. It just looks like whatever. But maybe that's... I don't know. I've never really like cared about Postal, like ever. Like, I don't know. Look at the Observation Duty dev. They use AI in their game too. Observation Duty? Why does that sound familiar? Isn't there like 17 of those games? Just 8? Excuse me? Why are there arrows in there? Oh. Hey, that was released today. Goon Swarm Games? What's the tweet say? We've shut down the studio. Our studio was mistakenly accused of using AI-generated art in our games, and every attempt to clarify our work only escalated the situation. In the last few hours, we received a large number of threats, insults, and mockery. Pushes us towards a very difficult decision. So were they accusing AI from the other games that they were making? And so they made the conclusion that it was AI in the trailer as well, based off of like some of the weird fuckery. I love that people hate on AI art so much. I'm just scared that that might change at some point. No, I'm glad that there's a pushback on it too. Don't get me wrong, especially considering everything involved with it. The fact that it's like stealing terabytes, if not, didn't it fucking use it? Didn't it get to a point where there's so much data that it's actually a whole ass different term? It's like not terabyte, it's like petabyte or some shit. Petabyte. People assumed that the trailer was AI before, and then they went to look at their other stuff. Yeah, like there's petabytes of images and video data. Like Acerella did a very good video on it the other day. I know, I watched part of it. I haven't finished that video, but it's just funny to think that there's so much stock footage out there, but it's not enough to actually fill all of the data that they have. So it's like, even if they were to purchase all of that in a legitimate way, they're still running off of so much fake copyrighted data. I think the thing that I love about that, though, is that argument. And then people are like, well, humans do it. It's like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. If humans actually took data and was able to spit out something from the data that they read and inspiration and whatnot, listen, you'd be working on shit too. you'd be making art too. Yeah, I do have to finish it. Love the fact that they've effectively run out of content to scrape up and blasphemy. Yeah. I think the thing that's most embarrassing about it is the fact that the government hasn't done anything about it. I think that's the thing that's most embarrassing. It's like we have a copyright system that's just not actually doing anything. The copyright system is a rule for thee, but not for me, if you have enough money. I think that's the most embarrassing thing about it. I keep forgetting what I called this. I really did not call this the best thing ever. F handle object context. Hopefully I'll get 500 billion in funding and everyone's investments go to shit. I don't know, but I think if once when we start getting to a point where even Coca-Cola is making full ass just AI generated advertisements and like and whatnot, like I don't know, cooked is the only thing I could say about society. The studio never actually gave proof that they weren't using Gen AI and just said, no, trust us, bro, you're all wrong. I think they could have easily just broke all of those assumptions by just showing some of their work in progress stuff, like things in 3D and whatnot. Or just showing some progress shots. I don't know. Especially when you're being contracted and you purchase an IP or you have an IP license. I feel like it would only make sense that you were taking progress shots. You had to show the publisher proof of things, right? Like most artists use references to create their art. AI basically does the same thing, only faster and better. The only issues I have with it is AI should also be used to compare to pieces of work. Just my 2 cents. Like the thing is though, AI is doing it much differently than a human brain uses references. If you are like doing the thing where you take a piece of paper and you're like putting pencil marks, or what do you call that? You're sketching on top by like using the other thing as like, what's that called? Fuck, I forgot the term for that. Someone knows the term for that. Then you get ridiculed for that, as you should, right? If you're like tracing. Yeah, tracing. But the reality of it is the human brain does not process information the same as a computer will. I just don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with it. As a human, we do not. Yeah, AI literally takes the data one-to-one and utilizes it. It gets to a point where people can generate IP copyrighted content by just requesting it. They've tried to circumvent that by blocking specific terms and words, but you can literally get around it. They know what they're doing. They know how, yeah. If you go into art and you see artists with a concept board with pics from Google to use as references. Oh, right. Yeah, no, like that's fine, but I would not equate like a reference board, kind of like similar to this. I would not equate me having references like this and then creating the art myself be the same as an AI doing it. You know what I mean? But maybe I'm just misunderstanding what you mean by it, Knight. I just there have been people that are like, well, how is it any different from a human using references? It's like very different. Doesn't the new COD literally have Ghibli style AI as calling cards? Yes, it does. Yes, it do. You're not using it in that way? Yours is very loose? I think if you are manually doing stuff rather than... To be fair, even kit bashing had its own, or photo bashing had its own share of ridicule for a period of time. But even with photo bashing, you were still putting in some manual work to actually get a piece to look like the way you want it to in terms of concept art. And there's at least human input to get it to that point. Whereas with a robot or computer... that then needs to process all of that information and needs to do that somehow with computer power and whatnot. And I don't see it. I don't think anybody can convince me otherwise. Call me closed off and opinionated, but this is just, I don't see any, in terms of the AI generated stuff, like Gen AI art and stuff, I think that shit, I don't see any place in the world positive. When it comes to like the LLM shit, okay, but guess what? The LLM is taking its information from somewhere as well, and Reddit is probably not the best spot for anything. To be honest. You got it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, I remember this. With multiple fingers and everything. It's mutated Santa. Nothing wrong there. Yeah, I guess you could use that excuse there. Yeah, I suppose you could use that excuse. Did I restart this? I don't even know. I think that's the fixed version. They literally shipped it with 6 fingers. So it was even worse? Wait, you mean it was even worse prior? If we're talking manual work, then why do we use half the tech we use today? Remote controls, backhoes, cars, etc. Tech is supposed to make our world easier, but not, if not, what's the point of evolving as humans? Yeah, I feel like I always keep hearing that argument for the AI stuff, which is like, oh, you know, I think even someone put it in one of my fucking tweets. They're like, this person is scared of cars. Hold on. They were equating this evolution of technology, evolution, I use that loosely, to when we went from horses to cars. I found that to be such a funny fucking thing. Such a funny... I am scared of cars, for your information, for you. Letting a computer do the thing for you, I don't think is creative at all. But then you'll be like, well, okay, what about procedural generation? Well, procedural generation is based off of rules that we code and feed into the system. Oh, but then you'll be like, but, well, isn't AI gen just that? Yeah, well, it uses copyrighted content from billions of places and then has to run the system. Really, there's so many, like, the bottom line is I don't give a shit. Moving on. Honestly, I don't fucking care. We're already heading into a cyberpunk era. I guess just let it happen. Just let it happen. Because it just keeps, I don't know. Whatever. I don't agree with it. I'm never going to use it. I think, okay, here, I'll say this. If a game for the I've used this before and I've said this before. If a game that you see uses a generated AI for their thumbnail, the Steam thumbnail, the very first piece of art that you see for the game is AI generated, what is your perception of that thing? Because I'll be honest, for me, if I see Gen AI as your thumbnail, the very first thing that I see of your game is Gen AI, I'm going to be honest, it's lazy and it's fucking garbage. It could be even like the best game ever, but once you've used Gen AI as the very first thing that you see, the very first impression of a game, I just think it's lazy. It's lazy. That's what it is at the end of the day. Now, don't get me wrong. I like being lazy. I like finding shortcuts, but I don't, not there. Personally. Typing in generate me X is not a tool. No, it's not a tool. It's, I don't know what to define it as. I don't care anymore. Moving on. I have lost the argument. I'm exiting the argument. I'm moving on. Okay, so now the sphere... Wait, actually, did I even hook up the interp speed? Yes, I did. Okay, sick. Can I set all of the data from... Is that a struct or are they just separate floats? Is there a function for this? Oh, come on. I gotta do them all one by one. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Cock. And balls. What if I turn that off? I wanted to increase the interp speed of the light object, actually, now that I think about it. So it's 3 by default. Let's try 5. Does that work properly? Hey, you try this, because you're the client and not the server. Yeah, just the same, because the beautiful Smooth Sync plugin allows us to do all of that. This is pretty heavy, man. Okay, let me try this shit again. Wait, the sound effects are replicated? That's good. Oh, shit. Why was that so fast? Oh, shit. Is that because... No, we gave it a interp speed. I guess we can make the interp speed for the thing slower. Let's do like 1. Oh yeah, it's heavy. That's a heavy boy. Let's do 2. Cool. Anyways. Look at my ball. My ball is amazing. Give it a lick. I don't think items should have the camera lock mode because I feel like that's jarring, but I'd be interested to try it out with other things. The furnace door feels heavier. I like it. Big fan. Huge fan. Humongous, one might say. Actually, maybe it's too slow. It's a little slow. Let's set it to 2. Cool. All right. We're getting some customization in. The code is still ass. We need to clean up the code. The code needs to be cleaned up. But, whatever. Ah, green pixel. Crimson Spaghetti is a feature in his games at this point. Listen, I'm hungry too. Gamers are hungry for a good game. I'm hungry for spaghetti. This feels so much better. Not a huge fan of the speed. Speed's fast. It's a fast lever, but yeah. Some people just don't like the idea of AI doing things that are considered requiring creativity. Listen, guys, I just don't give a shit anymore. Like, I really don't care. I think, it's like the same thing. It's like the argument of like, well, don't you want to make more money? Well, yeah, if I wanted to make more money, I would just go into a different industry. I don't know. Scamming people on the stock market or something. I don't fucking know. I'd do something different. I'd just do something different. I do game development because I like doing this shit myself. I like making it. If I didn't like making it, I'd just do something else in tech or something else. I don't know. That's the reality. I would literally go into a different industry. Do you solve the physics object not representing the collision of the door? Physics object not representing the collision of the door. Wait, which door? This one? If I photo bash art in Photoshop, which is that? Because I didn't put any effort into it, and Photoshop did most of the work. I still think photo bashing and whatnot. Now, depending on how you do it, there's still like a lot of skill involved with doing that, and a lot of human input to actually get that to look good. Just bashing a bunch of images together and then calling it a day, like maybe has like a style to it, but not necessarily Photoshop doing it. Doesn't Acerola actually bring up that argument? It's like, well, things are still being generated on the computer, so I guess it's easier than like real life than painting like a painting or something. I'm pretty sure he brings that up as one of his points, which I think is a very funny argument. Talking about their experience when launching a game. Yeah. Yeah, I can only imagine what this... I respect the negative reviews that explain what went wrong and help us improve. There are also comments that just cut deep. One review said that they hope we never work on the project again. There's many more like that. Reading something like that honestly hurts. Does not take away from the fact that the launch had problems. It only reminds us how easy it is to forget that human beings are on both sides of the screen. Yeah. The problem... Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. I've read comments like that, and it sucks seeing them. But when you point them out on a news article or on a news post on the game, I feel like the only thing it really does is it doesn't really tell this person, hey, you know, don't forget that people are reading this. If anything, it's going to make them actually do it more. That's the problem. That's the thing that kind of sucks with the internet. Is I feel like it just makes people want to do it more. Easiest way to look at that is that they're losers. I look at it as... Here's how I look at it, right? Yes, they could be a loser. Or B, they had such a high expectation, a high regard for something, and then they were burnt so hard on it. Or maybe they're like going through some shit in real life, you know? And they put that on their comment, on their review, and like, it's almost like they're projecting to an extent. Or I don't know, but it sucks. Unfortunately, that is just kind of like the game space currently is filled with a lot of negativity, and it sucks. It's a shitty like it's a thing that's really shitty, unfortunately. I really thought to hate on a game project of all things while I'm going through something. I don't know. Some people just need therapy and they don't have the access to therapy, so they, I don't know, maybe use it as a spot to vent, I guess. I'm not saying that, you know, people should be doing that. They go to Steam comments. Yeah, dude, Steam discussion forum, I don't know why it's so bad. Actually, I do know why it's so bad. Unfortunately, Steam/Valve does not police a lot of the discussion forum, and they kind of allow breeding of this kind of like behavior. And so we end up with a lot of individuals that just say really fucked up shit. And to a degree, they know that they have some power because Steam reviews can really fuck up a game. That's why there's the whole reporting spam and like really like a whole like brigade. That's why there's that whole system on Steam. Because people were actually like abusing that shit. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think for a few months, like, or maybe even like, yeah, for a few months, I like really, maybe even a year or two in early access, Steam reviews and negative reviews like really hit hard for me. But then as time went on, I think I'm kind of like shielding myself to an extent. I'm like, I care about how people play the game, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I can responsibly read Steam reviews to an extent. I think I'll still do it for this game. I'll read like the beginning of the Steam reviews and see how people are responding to it, but I hope that I don't get to a point where the Steam reviews surprise me. I hope that I've learned enough through releasing and working on Super Hire that I should be able to test out this game enough to be able to avoid that situation altogether, right? So hopefully, yeah. Speaking of Valve, my friend and I can't play CS Premier anymore because he got reported for cheating so much that his trust factor just puts us against cheaters. What kind of system is that? Maybe he is a cheater. You know, have you thought maybe he is cheating, as a matter of fact? Yeah, we need to make that lock, but feeling pretty good. We did some pretty sick shit today. Hell yeah. What made you pivot from the magical FPS to this project? I wasn't feeling very good about the combat game. It didn't feel like it had much charm to it, and it felt like there was a lot of effort to actually get it to a point where I was feeling good about it. Amongst other things, I think I was kind of like, whatever about it. I'm sure once I get back to it, maybe work on it a little bit more, maybe I can find that drive to get it going again, but I just kind of like, I don't know, I wasn't like super happy about it. And I kind of felt like I wanted to do something different. And I think a friendslop game is A, the best time to do it. B, it's a great way to get me into multiplayer, to learn multiplayer. And I'm already learning a lot without having super like combat intensive mechanics or anything like that. And we had like a fun idea of like operating a train with your friends, and there's monsters and shit and whatnot, and I was like, everything felt like really good about that, so I was like, yeah, fuck it. But the combat game, I don't know, we'll see. I wouldn't say it's like in the trash or in the bin, it's just on the shelf right now. So it's on a shelf, you know, in my office somewhere. Trains. What do we get to today? We improved interacting with objects a bit by adding different kind of parameters. So instead of it completely dragging the item, instead it's kind of like using your cursor. And then getting this thing to fucking work with our stupid system was a bit of a pain in the ass, because it's like kind of a circular object. So yeah, we adjusted the furnace a little bit, so it uses that mouse cursor based system, which feels pretty good. And then I added some parameters, so then we can adjust like the speed of objects. You can see this one's kind of slower, whereas this one's faster. There's still some dampening and stiffness stuff that we have to adjust. I just have to hook it up. And once we hook it up, we can make things actually feel like it has more weight. Yeah. How the fuses work slash move. I'm looking to implement something similar with power cables. Very brief. The static mesh box and the fuse are two separate static meshes. The box has sockets for each of these locations. And then basically what we're doing is every time we move the fuse and then release, which is like releasing our left click, when we release, we then check the location of the fuse and then we match it to all of these sockets. We do a for loop going through every single socket and we check the distance. If the distance is less than, I think it's like 50 units or 25 units, then we'll attach it to that socket. So it just sets the location, sets the rotation, all that kind of stuff to that location. So you see if I put it in the middle there, there's nothing that was close enough. I do still have to make a state for this where once it's not inside of anything, it like goes to regular simulate physics. So there's still some stuff to do there, but that's about it. In terms of moving, it's just using the same physics system as we have before, using the physics handle. Yeah. reminds me of me playing basketball, even though I'm 6'4" and I can't even throw a ball. Oh, Kobe. Is there any way to procedurally add sockets in engine? I don't think you can add sockets in runtime. You can, however, in your modeling software, add sockets and then export it. And trust me, that's a lot better than having to do that shit manually in here because it's fucking ass. Creating a lot of meshes via geometry script. You might be able to add sockets, but maybe not at runtime. You might be able to create a script for it. I would look. There's probably some blueprints for it. You can add sockets in the asset editor, but I think they're asking if there's a way to like do it procedurally or modify it procedurally. There might be, maybe. Let's see. If we search up socket, is there something built in? There is an add socket UID. Don't know what that is. Since you're using geometry script, I would look at geometry script and then see what kind of things are exposed to you. It's possible you might have a way of adding a socket. Oh, add a socket object in this static mesh. But it's not defining. I don't know if this is the same type of socket. I would look it up. I don't know. I'm not sure. Am I going for a horror theme or lighthearted peak like theme? It's gonna be more like Repo. So kind of horror-esque dark, but with like, or Lethal Company is the better reference. And then slowly leaning into like the spooky elements while also being somewhat comedic. So comedic horror, I guess, would be the thing. Considering that we are sausage people. All right. Good stream. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys. Ooh, he's got a little bounce. He's got a little bounce. I'll see you guys on Monday, I think. Yes. I'll see you guys on Monday. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for looking. Pretty good. The interactions feel a lot better. We have a little bit more control over it. Pretty good. Pretty cool. I'll see you lads on Monday, I think. It's a Friday, right? Yep. Have a great weekend. Have a fantastic weekend. I'm going to go eat something. I'm really hungry and I need to rest my voice. That's throat. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for dropping by, everybody. I'm going to go eat. I'm hungry. So, yeah. Okay. Goodbye. Goodbye. See you later. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Eat some good food. 'Cause why not?